Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês no Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hello, hey guys, what's up? It's Foster here. This is a solo episode. Alexa is taking a well-deserved break for the day, and I just realized it's the 50th episode of Inglês no Rádio, which is pretty cool. We should do something to celebrate, but right now we are a little too busy. So, in the last episode, we talked about the one true friend rule. The one true friend rule is basically the idea that if you have one really good friend that is a native English speaker, then you will be a fluent English speaker one day, eventually. And naturally, a lot of our students, they ask good questions. Like, for example, how do I make friends that are native English speakers? This is a great question, especially if you are living in Brazil and you don't have the opportunity to speak with native English speakers every day. So today I'm going to talk about 3 different ways you can make English-speaking friends, and these are simply tools and techniques that I use when I'm learning a foreign language. So maybe they don't work for everyone, but I know that they have really helped me. All right, so the first recommendation I have is meetup.com. Recommendation number 1, meetup.com. If you do not know what meetups are, they are more or less groups of people that share common interest. So, for example, if you are in São Paulo, you can just go to meetup.com and then search for anything that you are interested in. For example, photography. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that they will have tons of photography meetups with a lot of gringos there in São Paulo. Or you can simply search for English or language exchange, and you will find a lot of groups full of gringos wanting to learn Portuguese, and you can go make friends with them. So I've been to a ton of meetups in different places all throughout the world, and I've had great experiences, and I've had some not so great experiences. Sometimes you arrive there and there really aren't that many people, or maybe there are a lot of people, but you don't really find anyone you like or you connect with. But I promise, if you are patient and you go to 5 or 6 different meetups, you will find one that you like and that has some really cool people participating in it. And after you find one that you like, you can make some connections, starting to get to know people, start to get people's cell phone numbers, and before you know it, you will make some friends. It's easy, it's free, it's awesome. Meetup.com. Okay, my second recommendation to make friends in English, recommendation number 2 is italki. If you've been listening to us for a while, you probably know that we are big fans of italki. That is where I started teaching English online. And if you are not using italki, you are truly missing out. So for those of you who do not know, italki is just a platform for anyone to learn or teach languages. With italki, you can do 3 things, more or less. You can do a language exchange, you can do a class with a community tutor, or a class with a professional teacher. In a language exchange, you find someone that wants help with their Portuguese, and then you normally talk for 1 hour, 30 minutes in English, and 30 minutes in Portuguese. In general, in my perspective, I only recommend this option if you are just looking for conversation and if you are really trying to save money, because language exchanges are free, but sometimes you have a language partner that really does not want to speak English and they just want to, in quotations, use you for your Portuguese, and it can get a little complicated. The second option is a community tutor, which I highly recommend. So community tutors are simply language teachers without formal teaching certificates. And the best thing about community tutors is a lot of times they are great teachers, but they're much cheaper than professional teachers. This is probably your best option if you're just looking for good conversation practice. I've had a lot of community tutors that work with me constantly, and they are some of my good friends and great teachers. Finally, italki has thousands and thousands of professional teachers like me. That's what I do. So professional teachers are real certified language teachers that can really help you take your English to the next level. So usually they're a little more expensive than community tutors, but if you're really trying to improve your English fast, or if you need help with a specific issue like pronunciation, grammar, writing, exam preparation, then a professional teacher is probably your best option. So I will include a link in the show notes. So if you go to italki, you can receive your first class free if it's your first time on italki. It's pretty cool. You literally have nothing to lose. Finally, my third recommendation for making friends in another language, in this case in English, is a strange piece of advice for students that are already living outside of Brazil or students that are thinking about studying abroad or living in a foreign country. So my advice is do not take English courses. Yes, I repeat, don't take English classes. I know that sounds a little crazy, but I cannot tell you how many of my students have wasted so much time and so much money taking English classes in the US. And unfortunately, really unfortunately, traditional English classes in the US are pretty similar to the traditional classes in Brazil. So they have a lot of students from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different levels. And at the end of the day, you won't have the opportunity to speak a lot of English, and you really won't learn that much. So instead of taking traditional English classes, I recommend finding a course or a program that is interesting to you. So for example, when I was in Spain, I took a digital photography course. I have always been interested in photography and taking pictures. And in this course, I was the only English-speaking student. And at first, it was really scary. I was pretty nervous. But after a few weeks, I had already made some really good friends, and some of them I still keep in contact with them today. It's awesome. So don't take traditional English courses. Just find a program that you are already interested in and then do that in English. It will help you dramatically. So if you remember one thing from today, the most important thing is to find people who are already doing what you are interested in, but they are doing it in English. So go to the places where they're hanging out, either physically or online, and talk to them. I know it seems intimidating at first, but I promise it will help your English a lot more than spending more hours watching YouTube videos or sitting in a big class with 20 other students and everyone is trying to learn English. It'll be a lot more beneficial if you're proactive and seek English speakers that are already interested in the things that you are doing. Okay, guys, that is it for today. That is it. That is all for the 50th episode, and I will see you tomorrow.